So this is our take on the classic wooden arch bridge exhibit. Rather than just having one bridge to build, we've got three. We've got a very short one over this tributary of the river, slightly longer one, and then the really quite long one over the top. So the first bridge is ridiculously simple. We've got two supports, a gap, and all we have to do is poke a block in there. I mean, this is of course one of the earliest kinds of bridges, but slightly more subtle than just putting a log over a river, because the only thing which is holding this up is the shape. If it had vertical sides, it would just drop through. But because it's slightly angled, in order to fall down, it would have to push the two supports out sideways, and they're not moving because they're securely held down, so it doesn't fall down. And this is the fundamental principle of all arch bridges. We can then move to the next bridge, which is obviously too long to put a single block across, just falls down. So you need to do something more sophisticated. This is still quite easy. You've got two hands, so you can take two blocks and put them in like that. And one of the reasons why I wanted to do this is so you've still got something easy enough for a toddler to do without getting into the sophistications of building a long arch bridge, but it's still an arch bridge and they've still succeeded. And then we have a third, much longer bridge with two parapets, and you can start trying to build this with blocks, and you can get some way with two hands. If you're really good, you can get all the way across, but it's really quite difficult and it has a tendency to collapse. And doing it for real with many more blocks, it's just not practical to do that. So what people have done for thousands of years is build a scaffold. And here's our scaffold, and we can then put our arch blocks on top of the scaffold, and they stay there quite happily. And we're finished. Just pull the scaffold out and you have an arch bridge. So this could obviously be built into a table or a shelf or something like that, but the customer wanted it to be a temporary exhibit which they could take off the floor if they needed to use the space for something else. So we have built a system using these clamps whereby it is built around the table which they use. So you put the clamp into a hole here and you screw it up onto the table, and you get a very secure attachment for the exhibit. And the storage box is held by the exhibit at the front and the space for another clamp at the back in through this hole, so the whole thing becomes very rigid and stable.